I think a lot of that issue is caused really by people trying to guarantee future outcomes before our housing gets developed. And in particular, California, those outcomes are related to A, environment, but B, to a much larger concern, making sure new housing gets built so that people can access it affordably.
Yeah.
Usually, and this is particularly true in their housing element process where they allocate the number of units each city needs to build in order to grow. And they dictate that some percentage of that has to be available for very low and low income people. So what happens is, first of all, they fail entirely to meet those goals. Because they really kind of can't get out of their own way. On the one hand, when they enact whatever price controls or subsidies they want, so few of those homes actually get built as to make they're a drop in the bucket in terms of the overall housing market. And so what happens is you say you can't build unless it's affordable. You don't build, and by affordable they really mean subsidized. You can't build unless it's subsidized, and then or you don't build enough subsidized units, and then you're left with a very small percentage of the population competing for a lottery for the few units that you do build, and for the rest of the population, prices skyrocket because you didn't allow them to build anywhere in the
Right.
middle of the market. And then on the other side, you get this kind of unholy collaboration with just kind of local people who don't want, we call it banana, build absolutely nothing anywhere near anything.
Absolutely. Yes.
And so those two things actually work in concert, where on one hand, you get housing production stopped by its requirement for subsidies or inclusionary zoning, which is just price controls. And on the other hand, you get people who say, oh, we don't want anything built here anyways. And that all combines to restrict supply and has created a kind of the blast radius for a nuclear explosion in housing prices that's kind of radiated out to the rest of the country over the past decade.